we have a new game that we teased earlier in the podcast. It's called Walking Dead Destinies, and it's a game that's taking place during the first 4 seasons of The Walking Dead, and basically you get to make different choices along the way if you want to, and see how they all play out. The big one that the game marketed in the trailer and all the advertising stuff was that, I mean, how much, actually, let me first say this. How much have you've seen nothing of The Walking Dead? Okay.
Oh, wait. No. Yeah. I've seen up to when, spoiler alert, you've had time.
Yeah, this is going to be a whole spoiler. Yeah.
When Glenn got his head bashed in.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So basically, you've seen all of what this game is going to be covering. The big thing they marketed was that, like, what if Rick died in the field and Shane didn't? Like, what if Shane killed Rick?
Oh.
Yeah, and so basically they show, like, at the beginning of the trailer, they show like Shane leading the group to the prison so that he's the leader of the group now and not Rick. I think there's so much potential for, like...
Is that the jumping off point, or is that just one of the possibilities?
So you would start basically when Rick wakes up in the hospital.
Okay.
Is what I'm hearing. It starts from the beginning of season 1 to the end of season 4. So you get to play out the whole governor storyline, because that ends like midway through season 4. A ton of stuff everything at the farm. So I'm thinking the worst season. I really wouldn't say that, but that's
the slowest, like, dead screeching halt.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was tough to get through. That farm season, or like, that was just so slow.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got that slow. Like, thank God for getting to the prison, because
the prison was a better season. Sure.
Oh my God, it was a better season.
So season 1 was better than season 2 as well. So yes, it's a worse season, but I still like it a lot, because there's a lot of good stuff that happens.
Like what?
Like
you mean
Maggie and Glenn getting together?
Sure.
And Sophia coming out of the barn, and like Carol's daughter. Like that was a crazy moment, a great moment.
But it's so
you had Dale's death. You had that huge scene in the field with Shane and Rick and Carl.
But this is stuff that we could have gone to much quicker.
I guess. I feel
I'm gonna sew you up and tell you this story about him.
This was probably one of my first binge watches ever. So I watched like most of season 2 in one day.
That's disgusting.
It was like 10 hours like straight of TV. So that was
also
quite a day.
You were a teenager.
Yeah. So I could do that. But yeah, so I'm thinking here, big moments that could change the narrative, the story here. Like in season 1, what if Carol dies instead of her husband? Because Carol, spoiler alert, she lives the entire show. So like, how crazy would the show be if she's just not around?
What if Rick died in the hospital?
Yeah, sure, that could happen, but I don't know from what.
From a zombie.
Were there zombies in the hospital?
I don't know, but what if there was?
Yeah. What if there was?
What would there be a show? Would there be a story? Is it gonna go that far?
It would genuinely just start at that point. If he died, it would just cut to like the camp where like there's where there's Carl and Lori and like everyone else surviving.
Like what if it's just like Rick wakes up, dies.
That's so funny.
And then it's just like, all right, that happened.
We'll just cut to Shane. Shane's our main character now.
Shane dies on the side of the road.
But yeah, I mentioned other big moments. Dale's death would I'm not sure it'd have a ton of impact, but he was a pretty great character. Andrea at the end of season 2 splits from the group, which causes her to go to the governor's camp for a while, and she meets Michonne that way.
The blonde woman.
Yeah. Who was awful, like one of the worst characters.
I can't remember, but I don't remember having a good feeling about that that name.
Yeah. So. You know what's crazy? The same actress played in The Boys, the Soldier Boy's love interest. Crimson. Countess? Was that her name? Yeah, she plays her. And I didn't even recognize her until like I looked at the IMDb for it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, think of how different that would be though. If Andrea stays with the group and there's never like a split where she joins the governor. And there's a moment in season 4 where Merle gets killed by the governor's group. And so like think how crazy that would be if Daryl still had his brother for the whole rest of the show.
What if they show up at the prison and then the governor just has a heart attack?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think the game is going to have these crazy decisions or consequences like you think. But
these are the things that I want.
You want insane stuff to happen at any time.
I want Mad Lib.
But I think it's more going to be like...
The group shows up at the prison.
Right.
And everyone's wearing dresses.
All right, guys, we gotta get dresses before we go into the prison. What? Why? I want to. Okay, all right, let's just do it. That's all you need.
Yeah, a whole group of people in the town were celebrating Cinco de Mayo, and then they became zombies. So all the zombies are now wearing festive Hispanic garb.
There you go. But I think. No, okay, I guess I'm thinking of a different show. Never mind. But yeah, so it's more going to be like you play as these characters and then you get to make certain choices. So you're not just going to be able to play Rick. It looks like you'll be able to play Rick, Daryl, Michonne, Glenn, and I think... Is there anyone else in there? I think Carol as well. So at least 5 characters you get to play as. And it's not like the game looks like amazing graphically, but like it's enough that you get to like play as these characters, do combat, scavenge for food, make different choices. Like I'm here for it. Like it doesn't look amazing quality wise in that, like graphic sense or polished sense, but I think it's enough, And like when has a game ever done this where they go back to like seasons of a show or a movie and be like, yeah, you make the choice here and see what's different. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
I would be potentially down to play it.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah.
I'm probably a little let down at the choices. Like I feel like
we don't know any of the choices
more...
besides the Rick and Shane thing, but yeah.
Okay. I'd just be interested to know the extent.
Sure. I feel you.
Because if it's just like at key moments, I'll be a bit like yes, it would be cool to see the rest of the story like evolve like
right.
And if you keep making different changes, like what would happen. But it would be cool to get it a bit, I don't know, more in depth. But
I feel you.
I also understand that what I'm asking for
is pretty crazy. Like so much
requires a lot,
so much work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all I had to say on the game here.